Welcome back. You have entered the zone of Donald Kent art. It's Friday, and if you're not out having fun, you can hang out with me for some uncensored conversation. Did you see that Gavin McInnes walked off the debate that he set up? Oh man, I was laughing so hard. I mean, I knew he was going to get destroyed. You know, he's just. I don't know. Oh, I do know. I mean, it's that. I don't think he's a boomer, but like he's got that kind of like, that kind of boomer education, I guess, about defending the who's and doing all kinds of mental gymnastics to deny the truth. So stupidly, he sets up a debate with Vincent James and Nick Fuentes, and there's like a so-called conservative Jew who's on Gavin McInnes' side of the debate, and it's that very guy that pisses off Gavin McInnes and makes him walk off his own show. So man, did he, I mean, that's a hell of a public burning right there, And what did it is that James Vincent, not Vincent Jim, he asked the Jewish commentator, if you could get rid of one of these two religions, which one would you get rid of, Catholicism or Islam? Quickly and confidently, the Jewish commentator said, Catholicism, absolutely. And McInnes is like, outbursts, what? What? And then the Jewish guy's like, let's talk about it. Let's have a real talk about it. And he just McInnes throws his papers at the camera and literally storms off the studio. And the guys that are the based white nationalist guys, they're like, Gavin, we've been trying to tell you, we've been trying to tell you, da 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 da. It's freaky to me how people go to such incredible lengths to deny the truth. It's amazing. There's something deeply psychologically wrong with our people, with white people, that they cannot see things, they can't look at data. And it's not just about the Jews, it's about everything. We're so easily propagandized. We just love being spoon-fed lies. And I think this is the heart of it all. I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, I'm really, it's kind of become a thing for me, like a focus for me, this idea that it's our fault, and I know why and how all that happens. It's because we had low trust societies forced into our society. Whites have high trust societies. When I grew up, you didn't lock your doors at night. You didn't lock your car doors. There was no crime. If there was, it was petty compared to the shit that we deal with today. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Gavin's kung fu is not so good. That's a good analogy there. No, it's dumb fu is what it is. Like it's so I mean, like in like 2016 or whatever, I thought Gavin McGinnis was cool as hell. I was like, this is cool. This guy is, funny. He's based and all that stuff. But then, like, he just gradually he went down the "I'm not racist, I'm not homophobic" lane or whatever, and he just started getting weirder and weirder. It's like one of these cases where I have to shock jock my way through this. I've got to just be stranger and more radical in terms of his like goofy weird antics and like kissing Milo and shit. Like, come on, man, dude, that's not conservatism, dude. Like, what the how far are you gonna go? Like, and we know that you cannot apologize to the left. There's no there's no way, and we've been down this road, right? I mean, maybe in 2016 we were not as, I guess, as knowledgeable about the way that works or whatever. But disgusting. It's disgusting. Um, well, whatever. Anyway, he got his ass handed to him, as I knew he would. I didn't. I was expecting him to sort of, you know, lose royally, on that debate. Both James Vincent and Nick Fuentes are, you know, heavyweights as far as like talking about, politics, the Jews, everything and anything that's to do with our sphere and our kinds of problems, what have you. So, my thinking is that like he came on Alex Jones's show, and you could just see like, oh, this guy wants to be back in the limelight. Like he's bored or something. He wants to grift again. He wants to be popular again. And it just so happens that he came back into the grift at the time when the JQ is the main topic. Well, something, and like even he started off with Kanye and Nick Fuentes, and he's like, I'm gonna fix you guys. I'm gonna set you straight, and I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna get together. We're gonna have a little talk, and I'll straighten you guys out. That was like his attitude, you know, and the whole like I'll straighten you guys out thing is like so like cocky to begin with. And people have just been like trolling the hell out of McGinnis on Twitter and stuff, just like trolling him to death. And I mean, I'm not like, I don't have any malice towards the guy or whatever. I'm not like, I don't hate him or whatever, but I had to put my 2 cents in there a little bit. Anyway, he kissed Milo. Holy crap! Yeah, it was one of these like, media event thingies, something where like, we're gonna prove to you that da 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 da, and then he made a show out of that. It was vulgar, like nauseating, fucking nauseating, and like, and I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I'm done, I'm done, nope, no more. I mean, I'd rather tear my eyes out than have to fucking watch that. This is so sick. Then I realized, like, is this even conservatives? It's conservatism anymore? Like, what's happening? And then then you get like, well, you get the idea. Like Trump. I don't. He didn't like advocate this guy, but there was some like transsexual Trump guy or something, and this and that. And like, this is not what we're about. Like, and of course the gatekeepers are trying to get in there. Gotta get in there. Gotta get in there. So whatever. Fuck it. But anyway, how are you today, Hippocratic Oath? I think everybody knows I work on weekends, so I'm not. I mean, I could be going out tonight. I don't like whatever. I could sort of just do it or whatever. But I don't want to feel tired at work tomorrow, and I believe I will get some work done. I got a lot of work to do, and these pages don't draw themselves. So and then there's this other little thing about getting paid. So if you want to get the Monets, you gotta do the work. Wow, that went from like synthwave to like 70s porno music or something. What happened? What the hell's going on? I had a decent day. I've got a lot on my mind in terms of like what I'm doing, what I'm planning on doing, things I'm working on developing. It's just like all of a sudden, this is weird how this happens to me sometimes. Like I'll have like a kind of a dead period where for whatever reason things just slow down a lot, and then I'll whatever, I'll be like, okay, I'm picking it up, and then all these opportunities and all these things start coming in, and then it's like, oh shit, I got too much going on, all at once, whatever. It's kind of a good problem to have. But anyway, that's what's going on. What I'm really dying to do, though, is to get back into music. Was it Sunday? I think last Sunday I was supposed to get together with some friends and jam, and I don't want to say anything bad, but basically the guy who I was communicating with fucked up, and if you were to look at the text and what he wrote in there, he clearly fucked up. He clearly said it wrong. I asked him a question and he gave the wrong answer. But it was one of those texts where you're talking about two things at the same time. You know what I mean? And that happens, and he got jumbled up. So I gotta give him that kind of. But I was super fucking pissed off because it was one of those things I was looking forward to all day, and then since I work on weekends and everybody's busy on the fucking weekends, when I do have time to do something with other people, I don't want to miss that opportunity. Then I've got to wait another fucking week before I can get out and do this shit again, So you can see I can get pretty fucking mad about it. And I love to use the F-bomb. It's such an empowering word. I don't know, is anybody with me on that? Can I get an F-bomb? Woo woo! All right, I listened to your Patriarch stream. Thank you. I'm glad that somebody listens to it. No, it's not. I'm kidding. They get a good amount of views, but people just can't tune in live on a Tuesday afternoon. Quit your job. Get your priorities straight. Anyway, almost quit due to the game noise. Okay, that's a different stream. I was talking about the Patriotic Art live show that I have on Tuesdays. But so it's the same guy. I mean, he's whatever, Patriarch. So yeah, the beginning, I told him you're really gonna have to cut off that whole part of the video because you, for whatever reason, you just screwed up the settings on the volume, and it just doesn't come across. The second half of the stream is really where all the good stuff is. So you probably left and then missed all of that. But if you want to go back, though, it really, really is worth it. There's some absolute gold in there. And not only that, this is very trippy. Right at a point when we were getting into some very profound religious material, I made a statement. I answered a certain question. He was asking me, what is consciousness? And just after I answered that, the game crashed. and it just was whoa, you know, it was like weirdly synchronized, if you know what I'm talking about. Hey CG, how you doing, big bro? Let me just finish reading here. Hippocratic Oath. I watched the stream. Almost quit due to the game noise, but it really got good once the audio was fixed. Okay, good. I thought you asked some really good questions of the Catholic. Yeah, I'm not like everybody else in this movement who's like, if you're not like me exactly, then I hate you or some shit. Like we have to put race first. We have to put our survival first. And I'm never gonna like alienate friends that are from different religious orientations, what have you. Unless, of course, it's Islam or Judaism. But that's another thing. Didymus is here. Let the party begin. Drinks on me, guys. Woohoo! Cheers. Shot, 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 shot. Sorry, it's just another boring Friday night with this artist dude and his big mouth. I was talking a little bit about how funny it was that Gavin McInnes walked off his own debate show when he got, schooled on, the way the Jews are. This particular case, just a quick repeat there. Hold on a second. You guys might already know. It's like, it's all over Twitter right now. But the Jewish guy in the debate who was on Gavin's side of the debate. I mean, think about it. We're going to have a debate about the Jews, and I'm going to bring a Jewish guy on. So, but it's like you don't know who you're talking to when you're, James Vincent, Nick Fuentes. So he just ran into a wall with that one. Anyway, James Vincent asks the Jewish guy, Islam or Catholicism, which one has to go? Which one would you get rid of? And Catholicism. So that flipped out Gavin McInnes, and he just stormed off the show. So there you go. And Fuentes is laughing his ass off. Like he's just, because it's like, we've just proved you right. And there was even another clip I saw where they were making some kind of point about Jews favoring their in-group, meaning like they can never be like a part of any Western country because they will always favor and align with their in-group. And then the Jewish guy said, he's trying to like have a smart-ass response to that. And then in the end, he just proved the point. Like it was a crazy. I mean, I should sit down and watch the stream. It's a kind of thing where like I already kind of know how it's gonna go. It's like a Hollywood movie. You already know all the talking points. You already know who's gonna win, how the demoralization, da 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 da, on and on and on. Like we've just been over this a trillion times. So like I don't really need, frankly, to see it again. But on the second hand, there is a bit of a sense of like, maybe I should give it a shot, just like invest a little bit of time into that. I guess just for the fun of it, but I don't know. I'm very low on patience. This is one of my faults. Like I'm not proud of that. It's kind of it's a sort of course I can never start my show and I can never find the thing that I want. Oh, I got it. Okay. This thing about patience, it's like, how do I say it? Like, patience with stupidity and things like that. Like, people who just are stupid and stubborn and, they just, like, they want so badly to conform instead of thinking or like looking at data or just any of the things that we need and we do and so like I pretty much let that go. I feel like it's gonna drive me nuts if I have to gotta cope with that. That's what I do. For some reason, I can't find my ruler. I have other rulers, but there's like one that's kind of my favorite. um, even that's not gonna work. Will it? Maybe. Okay. But what's new? CG, how you been, man? What's shaking with you, buddy? Doing a lot of shows. So, are we heading into World War III now? It looks pretty. Looks like Brandon is really trying to get us in some trouble on another front. Let me turn off that crap. With Yemen and stuff. To me, I look at that almost like, are they just pirates? You know, like, is it just more of that kind of bullshit? Is this like, you know, like Yemeni and Somali pirates like terrorize that region all the time? There's nothing unusual about it. So is this one of these like, oh, we have to create like a false flag kind of thing? We have to create a crisis and then, you know, oh, now we're in a proxy war with Iran. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, they're just clearly trying to pull us into some bullshit. I'm a little more concerned about, not a little, I'm a lot more concerned about terrorist attacks on American soil now with all these fucking illegals, you know. A little good news is there's some news out today. The far-right party in Germany, I guess they got something like 24% of the vote. And they put out a statement saying something to the effect of we are, it's no secret that we are going to deport millions, and that is a promise, you know. And so like I think I'm actually not that plugged in with like German news, but I'll wager that there's quite a lot of people in Germany that want that, but that are terrorized essentially out of like speaking about it. You know, there's that huge farmer revolt. There's something about the government's not giving them some kind of money or something, and then this ginormous revolt where they have all their tractors out in the highways and something. But yeah, it seems to me like every time there's like some good news for our side, like the bad news doubles on their side. You know, it's like one step forward and two steps back. That always seems to be, or maybe like, you know, or 3 steps back or something. Like it's, I don't know. That just seems to be the pattern that I'm getting. Not like things are really good in any way to begin with, but anyway. So, okay, so a couple announcements, I guess. There's working on a new show. I'm thinking about calling it the White Art Community. And then, or it could, yeah, so I haven't really worked that out yet. But what I'm trying to do is recapture the energy of the White Art Collective. And so, and I'm going to cross promote it with my weekly show and the monthly White Art Challenge group, of which I'm an admin. So it's meant to be a variety show. Like, it's not just Donald Kent musing and into, you know, about whatever whenever he feels like it. You know, it's not this show, you know. And so, like, you know, have, of course, Nellis and I we'll put it together. It's kind of like we've got a good thing going on there, a good vibe, and we kind of share the work. First guest will be Josh Neal. I just reached out to Mark Collette to join the show. There's a lot of people that wanted to be on the Christmas show that couldn't make it. So I'm going to try to get these guys. But the thing is to do pre-recordings so that we don't have these like issues with time zones and shit. That's always the big clincher. You know, I spoke to Joel Davis, of which I'm a huge fan. And he's like, dude, man, like I'm in Australia, So whatever, it's just the time that I had available for this Christmas show, it just obviously didn't match up. But the fact that he wanted to be on the show means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot. I'm as other than Joel Davis, I'm not super plugged in with like the Australian scene, but I do. It's on my radar. Like I can see what Joel's doing. With his interviews and such. His Telegram's fucking stellar. Like it's like the shit. It's just the shit. I love how unapologetic he is. He's totally uncensored. So it'd be great to get him on at some point. Excuse me. Why do I have to start so late? I don't know. I must be crazy. Well, I don't know. I must be crazy. That's all there is to it. What else can I tell you? So, but yeah, I guess the thing is that the thing I keep bringing up, and I'm always game to hear your thoughts on, is just what I could be doing above and beyond what I already do. That would be useful and not useful, more than useful, that would actually make a change or an impact. I think what I'd have to do is probably reach out to the normie world. I have to start kind of marketing myself into their sphere. Now then, straight out of the gate, you've got like, oh well, you're gonna get shut down, like censored, boomers, whatever, like this or that or the other thing. And so I guess I would have to think ahead in terms of like, okay, what would be a clever strategy to do something probably art related, right? That would, I guess, shine a light on us. When I say us, I guess I really mean more like our talking points and the like, Okay. So, why is this happening? Every show this happens. Like I have all my stuff set out, and then right in the middle of the show, I'm like, "Where's that one thing I need?" I'm sorry, I guess I'm the absent-minded professor, but I'll have to work around that. Gosh darn it! I'm gonna start saying "gosh darn it" now instead of the other one, because I feel like that's kind of sinful, and I really need to stop doing that. Hold on. Oh, I think I know where it is. Oh, yeah. So, like, I don't know. To get on, say, like, conservative mainstream media, I found the template I was looking for. I would have to sort of try to climb the ladder in a way, or I would have to do something newsworthy, I think, that would make them want to have me on the show. I mean, this is very gimmicky, like I'm not like, because we know there's all these grifters out there, right? And the grifters are very gimmicky, right? They like they come up with some kind of like shocking device, that's like gonna grab people's attention, and and they think they're like, wow, I'm really edgy, I'm really cool, you know, like the kind of thing. Um, but not cool enough. If you can't name the nose, you can't be in the club. This music is not fash wavy or even synth wavy. Let's see, that I might have to switch it in a second. But if the end result is getting more eyes on our cause and pushing the Overton window even more in our direction, then it'd be worth it, or would it? Am I selling out my soul to do that? And what exactly would I be doing? Uh, I think like if I went and did something really, really crazy. No, I mean crazy. I'm talking like do some sort of giant public art display type event, where it could possibly get on like national news or something like that, and actually know people in news where I could be like, hey, there's this event happening. I'm going to give you a secret tip. You contact your news buddies in the industry, something, um, and have some cameras there when it happens. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? Like to kind of, because like the news doesn't. They don't like. They're not. They're a propaganda organization, but they're not there for your marketing, your art or something. Or if you're trying to like market your YouTube or something like that. But then if I do that, I feel as if like I'd probably have to go and show my face, and just go full on, just get fully out there. And if I do that, I will probably lose my job. You know what I mean? So that kind of changes things. Unless I was able to sort of do like a Banksy kind of thing. I brought that up in one of my other shows. If you don't know who Banksy is, he's a famous artist in the art world who does public art. That's like, it's not graffiti per se. It's these kind of paintings that he does in public places that have whatever. Some call it art. Anyway, it's a concept. Um, I'm really just brainstorming here. You know what I mean? Let's see what you're thinking here. So my channel says watching Julian Assange's brother, being interviewed by Kip Simpson. CRP has passed. What's CRP? I'm not sure what CRP is. Oh, it's that. Was it that journalist who died? Is that what we're talking about? I'm not so sure about this music. I'm gonna switch it up. But I'll let you guys look at this amazing artwork while I'm doing that. And you can get me. Yeah, what's the backstory on this Gonzalo guy? Uh, Sometimes I know the story, but I don't know the names. All right, that's enough saxophone. Saxophone has gone the way of the dodo. We're gonna get back to some house music. This is kind of house. I've been playing it a lot. I don't know. Dark house isn't really dark or whatever, but it's not like disco house, for example. Turn that up a bit. Kenny G. Yeah, I know. It was like, welcome to the Kenny G hour. Yeah. You gotta have really long hair to listen to that music. That's how it works. With a fan blowing your hair in too. That's the other thing. Okay, paused that. Now I'm here. So who is this Gonzalo guy, and what is the story? Get me up to speed here, bro. Brohim. You guys ever hear the term brohim before? It's like a Philadelphia Irish slang. I think it's kind of cool. Kind of fun. Did I just dox my location? Oh shit. So these pages are off to the colorist now, and the writer and the colorist are working together, which is pretty cool. Make some progress. I really want to show you guys like some of the colored pages. I'd like I said, I'd have to get permission because the way that we're doing this, I think they kind of want to let it all out. They have like their own ideas for, what do you call it, like a marketing campaign and this and that, and just I sort of think like they're being very generous in letting me do this streaming, you know. But I was explaining like, you know, it's kind of marketing, you know what I mean? Like it gives people a chance to, you know, check out what this is, and you get the idea. Anyway, whatever. So let's read here. Let's see what is the dealio. Lyra, Chilean American, had 2 young children in Ukraine apparently, and that was why he was staying. Was put on house arrest and apparently told more or less to stop streaming war analysis. Okay, right. I got wind that they were going to pick him up and try to make a land border run to Hungary, which was too obvious a move. They put him in prison, and he did say ahead of time he would probably die there. Yeah, CG is here. So like, if you want to get, you know, insights on Ukraine and the war there, you've got like an expert in the house right now. So like, he'd be the guy to you know, if anyone's wants to go down that road. This is the thing about, I don't know, anybody who is in any capacity trying to expose the truth of what's going on in the world, you know, you are putting yourself at risk to some degree, you know. Some more so than others, obviously. And, you know, this guy isn't like a white nationalist or something, but like, you know who's running the war over there, though. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of their big psyop. You know, kill off the goyim, create, try to pull America into a war with, you know, side by side with NATO, you know, against Russia, and the Jews are playing both sides of the table like they usually do, and blah blah blah. You know, destabilize the West, the whole freaking boatload. You know. So there you go. And my computer is jammed up. I guess that's probably good, so you don't have to listen to that music. Okay then, you got the scoop news. I guess that question is for CG there, right? Yeah. So that's what's what. there's really so many things going on all at the same time. You know, I mean, just it's kind of overwhelming. A girl that I know on the club scene just made an announcement that she's got long COVID. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's really a very, very terrible, tragic thing. She's gotta be, gosh, how old would I say? She's in her, gonna say early 30s. She's got a kid. She's a single mom. You know the whole thing, and like really, really good energy, very positive, loving, wonderful person. So it's really horrible to see. You know, I think you get the feeling for that. And I know, I know what it is. I know what it's about and where it's from and all of that. I'm not gonna like politicize this or make it uncomfortable for her. Um, you get what I'm saying. It's just sort of not appropriate. Oh, shut up! I'm not here for you. I'm here for me, and I don't care about your stupid shit. So, you click onto these like live mixes where it's just nonstop music, but somehow they still get you with the freaking commercial. Anyway, I think when a commercial goes on, I should just automatically go into like a Donald Kent commercial. Hey, get your Donald Kent half off this weekend with promo code DONALD. Hey, if you can't beat them, join them. Anyway, let's get back to the tunage. If it's any good, oh man, maybe I can. That'll have to do. So, let's see. Use Brave browser. Yeah, I'm definitely getting Brave. They have it for Mac now. Oh, okay. I prefer Mac to PC, to be honest. I need a better ruler for this. The New York City tunnel memes are freaking hilarious. I like. Our guys are just like crushing it out there with the tunnel memes. I don't know. I'm sure you guys have seen like a bunch, but like it's another thing. We're really, really harnessing the power of AI with our memes. I'm sure you guys have seen them. Some of like the most clever memes that I'm seeing with AI is the like fake Walt Disney Pixar movie memes. Where it'd be like, what's the one I just saw today? It's like it's called The Island, and it's got Bill Clinton with a bunch of kids on an airplane, but they're all in that like cutesy Pixar animation style. With like they have like a sort of a Pixar face. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about. Alright, so we are going to move on to some cooler stuff here with this artwork. Here's the thing, like, I like to use the brush. When I'm doing the brush work, that's kind of when I'm having fun the most. The fake Pixar movie stuff, yeah. It makes me more thoughtful than I use. Alright, so all annoying Karens be gone. I'll let you guys. One thing I discovered yesterday is like I can't really concentrate on my work and like keep up with the chat with you guys. So I'll kind of pop in periodically here. Come for the Kent, stay for the chat. if I can just keep thinking out loud here, you know, doing. So, like for example, the idea of having my local what do you call it, library create a white literature section. You know, I'm not sure what to call it exactly, but like white identity literature. Um, Turn that into some kind of an event, you know, like a news event. Um, yeah, it really would be, I guess, pretty hard to kind of do anything like this, I guess, without drawing attention to myself. You know, I mean, there are Antifa around here. You know, it's not. It's not. I'm not sort of, you know, off the radar, if you will. Um, some of them are really, really bad too. Like, I mean, all of them are bad, you know, but like the ones that are not too far from here are very, very committed. You know, they're a little more sort of like California style. You know, where they're like super fucking wacko. You know, they'll definitely do violent things. You know. But you know, maybe I don't have to do anything that is like, you know, sort of that wild. You know, that would like draw their attention or something or other. You know. Honestly, anything that you do that is like explicitly white is going to draw attention, the wrong attention. You know what I mean? Um, the wrong attention. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. You know, like it's going to draw the attention of these kind of evil anti-whites. You know. Let's see. I know for a while Japan wasn't allowing the jabbed to donate blood. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, what's the Red Cross? They've got some kind of thing now where they're allowing like gay and trans to donate blood. There's something I saw in the news, you know, and it's like, you know, of course, hailed as a victory for, you know, tolerance or whatever. And so it's like when I'll be honest with you, I had to go to the hospital last year, and there was one point where, you know, I was going through this and that interview, something, and I said, they're like, you know, if you need a blood transfusion, you have to sign this paper here that gives us permission to do that. And I said, well, do you have any unvaccinated blood? And I just happened to have like a pretty cool lady who, when she heard me say that, like she perked right up and she's like, that's a great idea. You know. I don't know what to tell you, but don't go to the fucking hospital, you know. Yeah, I think of hospitals as like places to die, you know, like just like, especially now, like I had to visit a family member in the hospital very recently, and the entire staff were black. Like, I mean, there were probably doctors around, I don't know, but like all of the help was black, all of them. And I'm sure there's some competent people in there, but I think you know where I'm going with this. And when I was in the hospital, I had one of the quote nurses that I had was a black dude, and there was like a black guy in the bed next to me, behind the curtain. And at like 3 in the morning, they would get into like loud conversations about basketball. And I'm like, I'm trying to fucking sleep here. Like it was just like, it's just there. If you were to say something like, could you please not do that? Woo, like, oh boy, here comes the shit. And you for sure they're gonna give you like very bad service. You know what I mean? And when you're in the hospital, you're vulnerable. You're healing, and you can't handle these kinds of things. But oh man, shit is so fucking bad right now. What I'd love to do is just like put on one of my favorite albums, but I'd get a hit. Oh well. Oh, about the libraries. Let me see. See if I can get into the chat here. Hang on a sec. Well, there's a little bit of an alarm thing going off in the music. Wing It's here. Hey, buddy. Welcome. Channel says look in the local genealogy section that works on small rural libraries. Genealogy section for what? I lost the point. If you need blood for surgery, I've heard you can bank your own. Yeah, that's a damn good idea. Hospital is from hospice. Yes, place to die. Krankenhaus in German. Sick house. Oaf says, I stay away from doctors. I don't even want to go to the grocery store. I raise my own animals. Damn, you guys rock, man. I've been wanting to do that for so long. I actually bought a ton of materials to do indoor gardening, and I've got to invest in some lamps that I can hook up. It's going to cost. There's going to be my electric bill will be up. But it's one of these things where you want to take control of your food source. The other thing too is that I kind of have to learn how to grow vegetables, well. Like it's not just throw the seeds in the dirt, put water on it, like there's actually something to it, like the pH balance in the soil, and blah 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 blah. So it's a bit of a learning curve there. Anyway. Yeah, not a fan of hospitals. Although my mom's side of the family is very medical. Like my grandfather was a doctor. My grandmother, on my mom's side, both of them were. She was a nurse. My mom and my aunt were nurses. Um, there was just a lot of that in the house, like that whole thing. My grandfather was very famous in the town where I grew up, obviously before I was born, because he did home deliveries, like when somebody was pregnant and you have your baby at home. Um, and so, like where I grew up, being the grandson of that famous doctor was a kind of a status. I would, there'd be people in the town, the shops or whatever, they'd be like, oh, are you, whatever, you get the idea, That was kind of neat. Um, and then at one point, he left the hospital and started a home clinic, which was really neat because when I was a little boy, my mom worked there as a nurse and in the office and doing nurse stuff. And I would like be kind of like in the waiting room, like playing with coloring books and you know being a kid, whatever, while my mom was working at my grandfather's office with her mother too. So it was a really neat, kind of a beautiful time. I mean, I was quite young, I was like 5, maybe about 5. Um, the indoor grow up is only good at small scales. For starters, like in a guest bedroom. Otherwise, people do highly specific stuff like microgreens, but you definitely need a room for that, more energy. Um, I'm not looking to go totally insane with it. I just want to be able to produce like basic vegetables that are like standard things that I need in my diet. I'd really like to grow potatoes, um, but just your basic kind of lettuce and uh, you know, maybe some onions and just beans. I don't know, stuff of this nature. But yeah, I'll have to get into it more. I'm just seeing if I can get Oaf to laugh. Oh, yeah, yay, dad jokes. I love dad jokes. Um, the other thing too is that I am probably going to be moving this year. I haven't figured out where yet. Um, don't want to get too much into my personal business here, but I will have to move. I've been looking around and stuff. Just not sure. Right now I don't have. I've got ideas. I have like things I'm looking into. Um, I don't want to rent. I would like to buy a little land. You know, be able to get chickens and do all that kind of fun stuff. Um, Everything's kind of a trade-off, though. Like the farther you get from the city, well, there's benefits to lower taxes, uh, safer, da da da. But then you've got like inconveniences, like where it's like harder to get places and da da da. You know, just like you get the general idea. Um, I don't know. There is the notion that like shit's gonna get really really bad in the coming years, and that you're definitely not gonna want to be near any cities. You're definitely gonna want to be away from the cities. You know. Wow, that's weird how that happened. So I don't know. You know, I don't know yet how that's all gonna play out. Um, mm, Whatever, it will probably be a very modest thing. I'm not looking to go too crazy. You know, uh, and I don't honestly know how much sort of time or whatever that I have to invest in like full on, you know, homesteading or what have you. As much as I fantasize about it, um, what I really need is a partner in crime who would want to do those things. You know, I don't mean literal crime, you know, but like you know, like a girlfriend of some sort. You know. It's funny because there actually is a girl. It's not a girl. She's a woman that I know who's like one of these sort of frontier women type. You know, she's you know lives way out in the country and has like a nice place, and she does a lot of handiwork and farming and that kind of stuff, and that's yeah, I like that. You know, I'm not so sure what I'm gonna do if I'm gonna make a move on that or not, though. Check the county tax rolls for the area you want to move to. That's how you'll find stuff available that isn't listed. The county tax? Hold on a second. I gotta see what you're talking about here. I have silver and gold lace jersey, Giants, Easter, da da da. Check the county tax rolls for the areas you want to move. Well, certainly, I'm aware of that. I have friends that are advising me on that. That's how you'll find stuff not listed? Okay. Move now, that'd be a missed opportunity. Well, you don't know my circumstances exactly, and I'm certainly not going to say it on a YouTube stream, but like I can't move right now. Um, I actually would like to. I'm kind of that's a whole other personal topic, but la la la. Um, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fear porn going on right now in the news. I mean, there's a lot of these channels that I don't know. There's sort of like you know, uh, urgent report. This thing's happening, and the next day, urgent report. This thing's happening, and you kind of get to the point where it's like, like, do I have to live in like constant fear or something? Is this like, everything's happening all the time, and I don't know. It just seems tiresome. Um, see what you guys are chatting about here. That life improvement decision right there. He wants to go to the disco. Yeah, that's true. I know. I don't want to have to drive 2 hours to get there and back. Pat Price said they would distract us like heck towards the end. Yeah, I mean it's crazy too because like I feel like there's a lot of sincere patriots out there that are trying to get the word out. I'm noticing like a ton of accounts that are really kind of just sort of normies that are like, oh my god, did you hear about the da 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 da? And they're to them it's the first time they heard about like the shit that we know about, and they're like urgently trying to get the message out to the world. And you and I have been like, you know we've been doing this for some years now or something, and like it's not new, but it is good to see. It's good to see people trying to like wake people up. But I'm still in the boat of like, how is that going to change anything? Like, if you don't, you know, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you want power, you've got to take it. You know what I mean? Like, waking everyone up isn't what's that going to do? You know? And then we just know that we're being fucked. You know what I mean? It's like doesn't actually. Yeah, I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. Um, oh boy. Oh, I just remembered. Is it Monday or Tuesday? Damn it! I've got so many things going on. I can't keep it. I gotta put this on my calendar. I'm doing a show. I believe it's Monday. I finally set up the Kai Moros panel show on the topic. Well, it's basically responding to his speech on hate, and so we got a good panel, interesting thinkers. I mean, they're just our guys, from the White Art Collective. Um, it's not like Joel Davis or like Mark Collette or somebody, but I think it's going to be a very, very interesting show, though, and I think it's really touching on a topic that people are afraid to talk about. Um, for obvious reasons. Um, but I think you'll be surprised, though. I think you'll be surprised that like the takes or the angles, perspectives that we have on hate, and it goes well beyond the framework of what like what the left screeches about and stuff. And I would certainly say that like I for one have a lot of kind of unanswered questions or you know things that I think the movement should do. One of the ideas that since you guys are my inner circle of like followers, I can talk about this subject on the show here. Um, I don't know where I heard this from, but very recently in one of the videos, one of the channels that I watch, there was this concept of how people they love to hate things. You know, that like, in our case, we hate, the government, or we hate corruption, or we hate, blah, 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 blah. There's so many evil things coming down on us, But that kind of love of hating that X, is in itself, it's not just unhealthy, it's like a waste of time and energy, that it actually, draws us away from doing anything. It's a type of gatekeeping, is what I'm trying to say. If it's easy to simply just post offensive memes and laugh and chortle with your friends over, AI memes of the Jews in tunnels, or whatever, whatever the flavor of the week is, then we're not getting out there in real life, building communities, doing anything on like a legal or educational basis, cultural basis. And that's not good. Not good. So, I think you kind of see sort of where I'm going with that. Because it's not like, oh, you're addicted to the internet, or you're addicted to your phone. It's not the fucking phone, it's the thing on the phone, it's the media, that you're addicted to. You meaning anybody, And I'll admit I have my media addictions. It's weird though, because it's not, I don't know that I would call it an addiction, but how do I put this? It's kind of like gold mining, where you got to dig through lots and lots and lots of media to find like really, really wow items, things that are like, okay, now there's some news, or that's a hot take on this particular topic, or I'm catching up on what's going on in this country, or you know what I'm saying. So it's not, you hear these people like, get off your computer, get out, some sunshine, and like, I'm not, and I go for walks, okay? I'm not some kind of fucking hermit idiot, like that's not actually what the problem is. Or that's not actually what I'm doing. I'm researching things as well as enjoying things. It's all mixed together. It's like funny videos, news, my friends talking about whatever's going on that is important to us, and bullshit that you have to just kind of sift through, and you just keep scrolling until you get to the thing that matters to you, and then from there you are, you're growing in your understanding of what's going on. You're able to share things. Like my Telegram is, like, I share a ton of cool stuff on there, I think. I mean, if whoever in the chats on my Telegram, you can tell me how you like it, or if you feel like it's enriching or funny, or whatever. You have to go to these alternative channels in order to really know what's happening. You know what I mean? And anyway, there it is. So, but then there's that time where you're like, oh, okay, I've had enough. I gotta do something. Whatever it is that you gotta do. And on top of that, I've got a lot of correspondences with my business affiliates, for the freelance work and this and that. So it's all mixed together. I had this boomer like tell me to get off my phone the other day, and I was like, I'm doing it like a business email. I mean, I didn't say that to him because I didn't want to fight with him or whatever. I didn't want to like come off as disrespectful. But it was like, I, it's none of your business what the fuck I'm doing. Like, don't tell me to get off my phone. That's just, you know what I mean. It seems kind of sort of rude. You want a better, healthier gold mining? Go outside and check in the nesting box for fresh eggs. Oh, you guys are off on another topic here. So I know some people that keep chickens, and that's the other thing too. Is if I can get a little plot of land in the country, chicken time. That'll be great. I know that there are eggs that you can feed, not eggs, there are chicken feed that you can get that has like vitamin E in it. So like it makes the eggs healthier in that regard, and you kind of, you get the idea. I guess I would have to kind of figure out like how are they gonna do in the winter and stuff like that. Those would be the things I'd be concerned about. And I guess if I'm in the country, there could be fox or coyotes. You know what I'm saying? Possibly even like eagles, not eagles, but hawks. I mean, let's see what you guys are saying. Donald, nope, talking to you. Oh, let me get back into the chat then. See what's the score here. Scrolling. Brother, I am the old dude, probably older than Oaf, not one to pull the old card. But I will make an exception this one time. Take your boy and get the F out of there. That county home, it becomes a vacation because you sought to live in continuous connection with nature's principles and keep the zombies out. Can't describe it to you in any other way. To be fair, it's hard to see from your point of view. You want a better, healthier gold mining? Go choose a nesting box for eggs. I don't know. I never see your Telegram channel. Only see the YouTube. Nope. Talking to you about exactly what you've been talking about. No, I don't know that. Okay. That's an interesting bug. Oh, so this is on like another planet, basically. This is a sort of an alien creature that I designed based off of the writer's concepts. I still take videos of some of the weird bugs I see here. So it's not. I don't disagree with you, Channel. I don't disagree with you. I just don't. The situation is not that simple. Um, I don't. I can't really get into it online. I don't feel like. I kind of feel like it's just too. It's not a thing I can talk about on YouTube. Mm, but yeah. Okay. Moving on. Mm, I mean, you got me thinking though. I mean, it's worrisome. The situation is definitely worrisome. Uh, I feel as if this winter is where they're really going to be kicking off a lot. They're already kicking it off. I mean, as far as like trying to go to war and um, I feel like we're going to be seeing a number of mm, I don't know what to call them, like forms of warfare that will be going on, all year, and until they stop, or until they are stopped, I should say. And I'm talking about, you know, more biological warfare, a lot more terrorism, a lot more weather warfare. Um, half the most of the public doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. Like they have no idea. Like all the shit that they have, and what they're doing, the kind of the secret government programs, all this underground stuff that they're doing, all this alien technology that they have. Shit's insane. It's like super insane. But weirdly, there's more disclosure and more kind of progress per se on people finding out about these things than there ever was. So, but once again, like I said earlier, I don't know that the public knowing these things changes any of it. It's like, oh, they found out about da da da, and so, well, golly gee, you caught us. We'll stop now. Where are the arrests from Epstein's Island? Or now that's just one. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Like everybody knows what's going on. Even Democrats know it's a shit show. Um, it's that brings up a funny thing. I was gonna post something where some of my family members can see, and I was like, don't do it, don't do it. Like you're gonna cause trouble. You're gonna get some shit. And the thing I was gonna write was like, I'm ready to take your apologies now. Like, and I mean that's funny but not funny kind of thing. Like the the damage that they've done to me is off the charts, and to to be the way that they were about politics, and then for situations to be as like insane as they are now, you get where I'm going with this. It's just like, you know, I'm kind of getting sick of this music too. So look at this bug for a while. I want something exciting. Not good. How about you shut the front door? And of course, there'll be a commercial in the beginning, because there always is. But you're right. Brave browser is the way to go. I'll catch up on the chat in a second here after this commercial break. Welcome to the Donald Kent Show. Welcome. We're back from our commercial break. Let's kick it. Let's kick it. Let's kick some alien ass. Okay, we got some Didymus, we got some Hippocratic Oath. These Tradcaths seeds really make me despair. They are so ingrained in their boomer truth regime that they're like the unmoved unmovable. Yeah, I have, again, it's like I'm not trying to offend my Christian friends, but damn, like I got some serious problems with all the extra baggage and like the protecting of the Jews and how everything. I mean, I know Christians that are almost like excited about the end of the world, and that creeps me out like badly. It's really weird to me. Rooted in absolute smug midwittery self-satisfaction too. It's so well said. Smug midwittery, that doesn't roll off the tongue too easy, but like, what a freaking amazing, like, you've got to trademark that. That's gonna be the name of our first album right there. That's too good. Richard Stroker was funny on Twitter. I'm gonna have to look him up. Even Joe Rogan mentioned his tweets. Jews talking under his apartment. Oh yeah, okay, that news I saw. That's crazy. It's like, people think I'm crazy, but there's Jews under my apartment and I don't have a basement. Yeah, it's just, shit just gets weirder and weirder. It's crazy, and like these people living in their bubbles. When the shit hits the fan, like, it's gonna, their heads are just gonna explode, basically. Oh, it'd be like scanners. Now this is the kind of music you need for an alien invasion war. That's right, guys. So I posted something on my Twitter. What's it called? Journalist X? Dark Journalist, that's what he goes by. And his whole thing is all UFO news. But specifically, his angle on it is how it relates to the secret government, the current government, governments of the world. A lot of whistleblower intel on his show. If you didn't know that his show is about UFOs and you just turned it on and was just randomly listening, you would definitely recognize, like, this guy's a legit journalist, and he's intelligent and he speaks very well, and it's not until you start hearing about UFOs that you realize, like, oh shit, this is an actual UFO show. But it's really more of a news show. It's just that the news revolves around UFOs and on all things related to that, It's just funny. I always feel like, when I start talking about that topic, like, people kind of roll their eyes and it's like clam up and waiting for me to finish or something. But like, this stuff is going mainstream. It's coming down the line, and all I'm trying to do is like give you guys like good resources to get information from. I'm noticing like a huge amount of like spiritual grifters that are kind of like playing the UFO card a lot. A lot of these, and I'm even wondering like how much of this content is like AI generated. I know that's kind of horrible, but you just hear certain things so many times, and you get to a sort of a point where like, is this, like, what the fuck is this? It's almost starting to sound like a commercial, And then the other thing too is this kind of like there's this, I guess what I would call like you know UFO alien community online that are essentially trying to prepare for full contact. And you know, we should prepare for that. You know, and how should we prepare for that? Like, what is it? How do we even know how to prepare for that? You know. But I just gotta say, like, I can't deny that I'm suspicious of a lot of these channels. Only because like I've been so absorbed in like politics, and I kind of know how things go and how they're run, and how, especially something like this, our enemies are gonna be all over it. You know, they're gonna be all over this information. You know, the early people that I can't remember his last name, Bill something. Like back in say like the 80s on like VHS and stuff, you'd see people coming out and talking about like alien experiences, like, you know, direct contact and government programs, all the stuff, you know. And oh man, his name's slipping my mind right now. It's pissing me off. There was one dude who did a lot of speeches on this and gave out. I'll tell you a bit about his story in a second, but the thing I'm trying to get to is that he was murdered, and like I happened to see the photos of his body from the autopsy and the police report. He was strangled like violently, and it was really brutal, really brutal to look at. And they kind of hung him up in such a way as to make it look like it was suicide, you know. Um, so like this isn't a fucking joke, you know. This like, oh, UFO thing, okay, whatever, you know. Like, it's not a fucking joke. Anyway, moving on. Let's get to the chats here. Bill Cooper, you fucking rock, dude. You fucking rock, dude. Thank you. You just got 100 points. You can take that to town right there, bro. Thank you. I'm so bad with names, man. It's embarrassing. Having I don't know, my brain doesn't work that well anymore. No, I've never been good with names for some reason. It's very annoying because it's like, you know, I know a lot of information, but then I'm like, oh, that guy, his name's Bill. You know, like, it's, oh yeah, that looks professional. Anyway, I'm gonna turn the music down a touch. All right, so let's talk about this. So, Bill Cooper, anybody can just, you know, YouTube him anytime and see his speeches. Oh, so here's the main story about him is that he worked for, it's like a government contractor, and his particular job is he worked for companies that did like mining and built underground tunnels of all sorts. Okay, so he's on a big job, and whatever, they're mining in some area, and something's wrong, and he's like the foreman or what have you, so he's got to go down there and see what's going on. But like they had military people sort of on staff observing the whole thing. Like I said, he's a military contractor. So they have this type of an elevator that you go down in, and you know, this special sort of kind of like a hazmat suit that they wear. And they're going down, and they finally kind of get. Essentially, the drill broke through to a huge empty cavern. So that kind of, you know, you had to kind of go ahead and see what is it, what's down there. Before we continue drilling, we're going to have to know what's up. So they, of course, they bring a light or whatever, and the whatever, the elevator thingy. It's not an elevator, but whatever. It's some kind of thing they drop them down in, and they shine a light in there, and there are gray aliens in there. and he was describing like the smell was like unbearably, like it was like 100 dumpsters. It was just unbearably bad, and like you can just sort of imagine the shock and terror of like turning the light on and seeing like these creatures, right? These aliens. His immediate instinct was to kill. Like he just had to unzip his thing. He pulled a gun out and he shot and I guess killed one of them. And this obviously sent, got the whole shit show started. And the one of the aliens had some kind of a weapon that they shot back at him. It ended up like cutting off the fingers on his hand, and it split his guts open. Like, as in his words, like, they split me open like a fish. The what do you call it? The military guy that was accompanying him, started shooting and like did like the military guy thing, and the aliens killed him. But like he was like whatever they pulled him out. I'm sure they probably hear the gunfire and like what the fuck's going on, and they pulled him out, and of course saved his life, right? Because he had to get immediate care. And then he just went on some sort of a tour to essentially like reveal what happened, da da da. And so you can see all of this stuff in detail if you check him out on YouTube or wherever. Anyway, so that he's like a fairly famous guy in the UFO world. It's quite well known. Um, yeah. And there's others too. There's other guys out there that are like of his generation. They're trying to get the word out and stuff. Who's the guy? Project Disclosure Project. He's a former doctor. He's kind of a bodybuilder sort of looking guy, but he's got a odd looking face. He's kind of balding, glasses, pockmark. Again, sorry, like sorry, I don't have the names again. And I was just watching him today. But if you look up Disclosure Project, you'll see all of these military people from different governments coming together to share, their accounts of UFOs and like spilling the beans, and they all start like, I was, told never to talk about this, and now I'm going to tell you, So it's pretty stunning. So while all these fucking crazy wars are going on, that's happening as well. Yeah, it's overwhelming. Like there's just so much going on all at the same time, All right, let's have a look here at some what you guys talking about. The Dolce base. Bill Cooper, Phil Schneider, and Dolce Base would be a good graphic novel. Wow, yeah. Phil was also killed. And there you go. Is this the Bill Cooper that was Naval Intelligence? Not sure. Oh my lord, Didymus, you nailed it, man. Hippocratic Oath says I think he's talking about Phil Schneider, and actually, maybe I'm talking about Phil Schneider. I literally could just turn on my fucking computer and like look him up right now and get that straight. But I'm sorry to bother you guys with this stuff.
I'm gonna have to write these things down, put it on a little piece of paper in my wallet, so I won't embarrass myself anymore. Stephen Greer. Stephen Greer, thank you. That's the guy who runs Disclosure Project. Yeah, doofus. They think all aliens are good guys. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not even, you know. I mean, I kind of suspect him of being like, counterintelligence. Like you get a guy out there who, is like, I'm the guy that's spilling the beans, and I do consultation for government officials, and like I know it all. I'm the guy, I set up Disclosure Project and da da da, and so that it looks like, oh, we can trust him, but that's how counterintelligence works, right? Is gain the trust. I'm your friend. I'm just looking out for you. Meanwhile, they're laughing at you behind your back, telling your friends that you're delusional. Anyway, this is a journey. So, only time will tell or not. I mean, will we ever know? That's why Dark Journalist is, for my money, like the best guy out there. Even like the Gaia TV. Do you guys hear about Gaia TV? Um, who's that Edgar Casey looking guy with the big head, blonde hair? He's on all the Ancient Alien shows. He's in like a court case with another one of the big names. And it's like, if these guys are taking each other to court, it's just kind of. But that comes right back to that point I was making earlier about kind of like how our people seem to be very willing to be lied to and to buy into all kinds of lies about, fanciful things. We just seem to constantly want a new Santa Claus, It's that whole, like, I'm not racist thing, like, what's his face? We were just talking about him, Gavin McInnes, on this big mission to, like, expose it's a conspiracy theory, and about not every one of them, and the usual shit. Like, we've been down these roads so many times already that it's but that's kind of like the case of Luke Cage, which he got booted off of Twitter, Twatter, recently, and like, and I'm a fan of him. I like him, but I just noticed that, like, he what's the word? Like, he kind of goes through, or has gone through, and is going through a lot of the same processes or whatever that we all go through on this road, to sort of leaving the Zionist matrix, if you will. And you get into kind of debates or discussions with various people, and they're like, "Oh, he's wrong about this," and I'm like, "Yeah, give him time." We were all there at one point, and I feel like I'm really curious to see what or if, like, Gavin McInnes is going to have any kind of I don't know, like a moment where he's going to have to concede, like, oh shit, I'm wrong about this or something. Oh boy, is that too much to ask? Is that naive of me to think that he is going to do that? I don't know. We shall see. It's kind of another thing too. It's just like people not wanting to admit they're wrong about shit. that's a whole other topic, which comes back to ego, which you guys know I'm not a fan of like big egos. But the guys like Gavin McInnes, like how he's not going to survive if he's calling out the Jews. They'll find him. He'll get the call. Oh, I have to make an emergency trip to Jerusalem to meet with Netanyahu, and we're going to talk about our new strategy with the ADL, and we're going to team up with the ADL, and we're going to, and then all these politicians are going to make new laws and da 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 da. Oh fuck, man. This shit's so stupid. David Wilcock.
Like, dude, I'm gonna have to like pay you for your help on these things. I thank you so much for that. James Corey, Corey Good. Yeah, Corey Good is the other guy. Is the guy a guy that lost the law? Oh, he lost it.
So I didn't know he lost the lawsuit. Excuse me. Yeah, you're hip to this stuff. It's cool that you're knowledgeable about that. It's very cool. Corey Good's like whether or not his story is true or not, who knows? But like, it's a hell of a story, though. It's like crazy, So like again, in the 18 years or so of like researching this stuff, coming across many stories of abduction and this happened to me, that happened to me. You could kind of tailor a type of a myth or a narrative, like based off of those testimonies. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh yeah, I've heard about that. Well, yeah, it happened to me. It's hard. It's hard to separate the wheat from the chaff, I guess. But I did see like an interview. It was more of an interrogation, actually. It was like a police interrogation of Corey Good related to this court case. How the hell somebody got that footage and was able to put it out, don't ask me. But he was very clearly under duress from the interrogation. I call it an interrogation. They're asking him questions, but he was very he was just excited, I guess, to put it mildly. And he's like a super mellow kind of California hippie type guy. So to see him upset like that was not, it didn't really seem like him. But long story short is he essentially said in this interview that what he does is fiction. Whew, like, I mean, did he say that to save his ass from this court case? Was he, or, I mean, that would be the opposite of it, right? He would want to appear like, I am legit and this is not fake. Anyway, I just don't understand, like, why would you do that? Other than you're being paid by the FBI or the CIA. You know what I'm saying? And paid. You might not even be being paid. You might be, like, do this or we'll kill you. That could be another motivation. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm just talking out of my ear here. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of would hope for people with a better caliber, talking about these things. What do you guys think about Billy Meyer? Do you know who Billy Meyer is? I don't know. I think he's from Sweden. Old dude. Billy Meyer's background, he was like an intelligence officer as well. But like when you look him up and you see you know, you first sort of discover him, he's just like a farmer, you know. And what's fucked up about Billy Meyer is he only has one arm. Like, I guess he lost his arm in a farming accident or something. But I recently kind of went back. I don't know what to call it. Like not discovered, but reviewed, I suppose. Uh, some of his content, and there's a lot of this, like the predictions of Billy Myers, you know, and they're not his predictions. They're like supposedly things that he was told. Here's the deal: the film footage and the photographs are very, very, very hard to deny or disprove. They're extraordinary, and especially they have these images of UFOs that are like right next to trees. So meaning like, let's say here's a tree, and the UFO will be in such a way that the leaves of the tree are like over the edge of the UFO, you know, and it's like kind of leaning into it just to show like the scale of the size of the UFO to the tree, and then it's clearly physically interacting with it's not fucking fake, you know. Other photos are like, that could be fake, that could easily be fake, but then you see that shit and you're like, damn, wow, you know,
Pretty crazy. Anyway, moving on. Greetings, Western Kind United. Welcome.
we are. I promise I will not talk about UFOs on all my shows. It's just kind of a thing going on right now. It's an interesting topic. And again, I keep trying to get people to tune in or even subscribe to Dark Journalist. That's on YouTube. It's the most solid news you're gonna find on UFOs as they relate to politics. You know, he talks about like the JFK assassination, and his a lot of people on the show that do really, really rigorous investigations. And just excellent show. Highly recommended. How you doing, Western Kind? What's going on? What's shaking on this Friday? Do you work tomorrow as well, or no? All right, what's going on here? So, all right, so we got some heavy weather coming through here, and I might not even go to work tomorrow, depending on how the weather is. We'll see. I believe Sunday is supposed to be very bad. I got gas for my plow and for my, what do you call that thing? Generator. Just kind of getting ready, you know. And I was actually going through some of my sort of survival items and just kind of reassuring myself where are they, and if I need power goes out or this or that, I think I really hate winter. I don't know about you guys, or where you live or what, but like I very much have had it. I've had enough of it. So anyway, can't take it no more. This winter stuff. Anyway. Let me do something here. Alright, check the chat in a second. I see something on there. Oy vey. Oy vey. Better start working on my tunnels. Yeah, if I don't have to go to work, I can start digging. What was it? I saw some news today that was like very, very damning. About it was essentially like associating these tunnels with human trafficking. I guess the tunnels are, I don't know all of the tunnels or what, but like at least one of the tunnels from the synagogue goes to either Epstein's house or the other guy's house, but it's yeah, it was Epstein's house. Or not house, his apartment, I should say. It's crazy, dude. And I think there was some sort of like like people, the kind of the 4chan poll gang, they they look into these things and they figure out shit that, you're not going to find that on the mainstream news or even on a lot of alternative news. I'm not sort of smart enough to put those things together, I guess. All right, I see there's some chat going on up here. I better take a look. Okay, give me a second here. Greetings. Have you ever played Duke Nukem 3D? I would like to. I am not a gamer guy. My son is. He's got the 3D headset thingy, the VR thing or whatever. There is a line in it where he says, "I'll rip your head off and shove shit down your neck." My idea, thus, is for Jonathan Greenblatt having that happen by Duke Nukem. I think we got a script started here. That'll be the opening scene, right? Okay. And then Greenblatt will disappear into a cave, and the chase will be on. This being rendered in a drawing. Yeah, maybe that should be the theme of my Tuesday show. That's a pretty famous line too. I've heard of that. Anyway, with cold weather, you can always add additional clothing with heat. Yeah, I know. I'm better in cold than heat. I'm a northerner. I was down in the Caribbean a couple of years ago, and I hated it. Like, I don't mind the food and the whatever, but the heat. It is like I can't enjoy anything in this heat. It's so horrible. Of course, I went in fucking July or June or something. Hippocratic Oath, they will find other tunnels. Oh God, yeah. I mean, right now it's all a cover up. I'm even curious, like how it even got on the news. Like how, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like somebody wasn't doing their job. Someone wasn't running cover. For the synagogue of Satan. And now it's just gotten worse and worse, I mean, almost all of Conservative Inc. is saying the same bullshit about like, oh, well, they did that during COVID in order to, keep their religious laws and blah 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 blah. And like, there's a, it's not a meme, but it's like a screenshot that has many screenshots of tweets from all the sort of known, conservative ink shitheads, and they're all making excuses, and they're just, it's so it's so tiresome. It's so tiresome. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah. You gotta get Jared Taylor back on Twitter. Yeah, I think I'll turn the music up a hair. Let's see. Western Kind says the heat shuts down the brain. Yeah, I just can't do it. I tell you though, interestingly, I did live in Taiwan for 4 years, 4 fucking years. I came home, for vacation or something, but like, and that is it's very near the equator. So I'm telling you, like, it was the heat, getting used to that heat took some time. But by the time I came home, I can remember that summer was like an exceptionally hot summer for my people in my city, and I remember walking around like, oh, this is so refreshing. It's such a nice, cool summer, like, while everybody was bitching and complaining about, oh, it's so hot out, So that made me laugh, just because, whatever. But the body does acclimate. It's just a thing, I guess, But no, I'm not that guy, I'm a Nordic type, I guess. What I would love to do is kind of learn how to do some winter camping. I think that would, so long as it was, comfortable enough, where like, okay, I have what I need, and I can actually zen out, I can, sort of zen out by the fire, and I feel like a really strong desire to kind of commune with nature more. I think probably because I don't do that so much in the winter, you don't have your walks or whatever, but there's just some kind of instinct I've been having. There's just something calling me, and I actually saw a course, in like, it's one of these evening courses for adults, and it was like a how to survive in nature type course, and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that, I want to do 100 damn things, I want to learn French, I want to play the piano, I want to, learn how to survive outdoors, I want to have a farm, I want, and I think some people, that annoys the shit out of them when they hear me talk like that. They're like, focus, what are you gonna do? It's, life is short, I guess. You gotta do something. But I do kind of think about things like, like, what will I do when I retire, for example? Like, obviously art, like unfettered, I will be doing a lot of art, publishing my art in books and stuff. I definitely want to get a home music studio, and I mean, to some degree, like learn the basics of it. Um, and like enough to lay tracks down and then I'd go give it to somebody who can mix it, you know, and do more of a professional job with that end of it. And I'm talking a full studio, like drum set, keyboards, drum machines, whatever, like, you know. That'd be sick. I mean, if I had enough money to just do my art, can you imagine, you know? Like if I was doing art and music full time, can you fucking imagine? That would be extraordinary. I would be putting out incredible, incredible work, you know? But I gotta have a job. That's why, like, a lot of people in my family, they don't get me, you know? They're kind of like, why are you that way? Like, why can't you just be normal, you know? That's a good question. Don't even get me started about taxes. Oh, God.
So let's have a look here. We're going to say, For White Well-Being is here. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the party. Get that man a drink. I'm going to go back and check the chat. Heat Ships on the Brand. Tim Pool, Joe Rogan, Patrick, Bet, David, Alex Jones, Elon, Glenn Beck are all on this J team. Yes, that's absolutely true. I'm done with Alex Jones. That guy is a fucking retard. I'm done with him. I mean, to go this far, his whole life's mission, and then he had one more step to go, and he completely turns around and hides, and runs cover for the Jews. Like, fucking ridiculous. Embarrassing. Anyway, Hippocratic Oath, dogs who know where they will receive a bone. Yes, that hurts, but so true. Bought and paid for, yeah. Salute, everyone. Salute, Donald Kent. I can relate with your many interests and ambitions. Are you? What kind of work do you do, Mr. For White Well-Being? Music, art, literature, film. Western Kite says, hails on the road. Okay, salute you. Prost. Or is that Proust?
Someone help me here. What does Proust mean? It's like, I'm basically a savant. Like, I'm super smart about some things and extremely dumb about other things. So I hope you'll have patience with me. Maybe there's medication that can fix me. I'm sure there's some doctors that would love to convince me that is. It's funny. I just canceled a certain doctor's, not really a doctor, but like a nutritionist appointment because I went one time and you know there was some helpful things, but like there were things that I know about regarding health, nutrition, etc. that this person didn't know. And you know, and then I have like, you know, whatever, like everybody's got unique dietary needs, whatever their health issues are, yada yada. And she was just kind of treating me like anybody that would come into the office and just an ordinary person. Like, no, I have unique, you know, like I need more of this and less of that or something, whatever. And we all have like our own family genetics and, you know, a propensity towards this disease and da 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 da, you know. And she just wasn't getting it, and it was like $160 for an hour. And I'm like, I can look this shit up on the internet, bitch, you know? And she's not a bitch. She's actually a really beautiful woman. And I'm not, like, she's a lot older than me, too, which is odd for me to say, but She's kind of a classy Italian lady. What? Where did that all come from? Anyway, so you just, you got to kind of look out for yourself a bit with these doctors. Just because they got a piece of paper on the wall doesn't always mean much. Agriculture, excellent trade, awesome sauce. The creepy thing about bugs is that they start eating before they kill the victim. Ah, God, that's so horrible. I know. Indifference is scarier than cruelty. Yeah, like praying mantises comes to mind. And it's just, or spiders. Like, I just to look at that stuff, even just to think about that, is like, it gives me the willies. That's pretty horrible. Don't be reborn as an insect. I'd rather be reborn as a dog than an insect. And I don't want to be reborn as a dog. Just putting that out there, universe. Actually, I don't really want to come back. I mean, this life was brutal. Like, super, super, super brutal. Like, immensely painful. And I know I've got a promise and a mission to help people, and a vow to help people, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna need to recharge, in some kind of like celestial recharge vacation station, Oh my God. Have you guys heard of the Monroe Institute? The Monroe Institute. Yes, I remember the name of it. It is the dude who created this used to work for the CIA, and I don't know even how to start describing this, but basically the CIA had like a paranormal program. I think Russia had one as well, and this is kind of like sort of a throwback from like the Cold War and these things. Anyway, I'll just get right to the chase here. So, the Monroe Institute teaches you how to do astral projection. It's a course, and there's a community and da 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 da. But like, I've been thinking about possibly doing it. I'll be honest, I'm a bit afraid of it. But I kind of feel like it would be a really, really good, for me, where I am in my path, it would be a really good thing to do. I could probably visit my mom and my dad. But I feel like you could also open the door for a lot of dark entities as well. So like, I don't know that I want to do that. So I don't need that blasting in the background. But anybody can look up the Monroe Institute.
All right.
And I've been having like lots and lots of bad dreams lately, like night after night. You know. So dream. How do I put this? Like, from my perspective, you know, and I don't know, try to make this simple a little bit, but like for me anyway, dreaming is just as much a part of like spiritual practice as living. You know, there's things happen in your life and you have to process them in terms of like, you know, this is part of my journey and how am I going to, you know, behave? What does this mean to me? How can I transform this into a positive experience? What's the moral dimension? Blah 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 blah. All the things. Like if you're a spiritual person, you think like this, you know. And the same. I mean, your dreams are just another life that you're living, you know. But it's obviously far more surreal. Um, and of course, you can't really remember everything, you know, which is kind of the fucked up thing about it. You know, you go through these incredible journeys every fucking night. Yeah. Donald Kent, the great spiritual teacher, is always saying fucking every 10 minutes. But anyway, and then so when you're having nightmares, like, I mean, there's different levels of nightmares. I mean, I've had, you know, bad ones, bad ones, you know, waking up in terror and like, you know, that's not the common thing that happens to me. They're more or less, you know, it's, I don't know what the word is, like, just imagine being in like a non-stop video game where you're constantly running from something or being chased by something, or and it's exhausting. Like you're trying to sleep, but your mind is like that, you know, and it's just like fuck this, man. I want to fucking sleep, you know. In many cases, I'll get up, like I'll force myself to wake up, and then I'll meditate for I don't know, you know, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, or however long I want to. And that'll settle down the brain waves, you know, and then back to bed. Betty bye. And prayer is really, really, really important in these things too, because you're alone in the dark, you know, and it's like you need God, you know, in these things. You gotta have some help there, you know. So, but I'm curious, like, why am I having all these bad dreams, you know? How should I know? Sometimes things in the foreground should have like a very thick line around them because it pops it out more. It makes it's gonna come forward, you know. It's a nice little trick in the comics art world. It's a pretty cool vibe. Anyway, let's take a little read of Rooney here. Since you know how to meditate, you should be good at astral projection, lucid dreaming, and remote viewing. I've done lucid dreaming, and I'm very good at it. And I talked about remote viewing on another show. I could talk about that a little bit more. You just need to learn how to protect yourself.
Western Kind says the bad dream reflects on events of the day in some fashion. Yeah, I got a lot of events. Anxiety in the day can define the content of dreams. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. And I don't, I don't come on these shows to be like, okay, guys, you ready to listen to my problems? Like, all right, let's start. Here's the laundry list of my problems. I'm not gonna do that, but everybody's got problems. I always feel like it's sort of about how you handle them. And there's that tendency to like lose control or get. When I say lose control, meaning like to get overwhelmed by your problems. And then you have to try to get your center back. Not be overwhelmed. A lot of fucking problems in the world right now, guys. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I guess I'm the weird one. Like, why do you care so much about what's going on in the world? Because nobody else does. Football's on now. Let's watch football, dude. Let's all be normal. Is that essentially, to me, like the definition of normal is like being a fucking idiotic loser. I know that's pretty crazy. That's like a slightly mean thing to say, but so there was a news story that I came across very recently about some football fan that like shot and killed another football fan. And we're right. I guess we're towards the end of the football season. I'm not a football guy, so I don't know much of what's going on. But I know that people into football are crazy about it. But like this is the first time I've ever heard of somebody like shooting and killing somebody. Now, was it a quote football fan that shot another football fan, or was it or was it another like what's the word I'm looking for? Future astronaut, future doctor. You know where I'm going with this narrative here? You know what I mean? Like, it's like in Britain, like, British teens have a very high rate of rape. Guess what? They're not British, asshole. I think you know what I mean. But anyway, the point being that, like, if people only cared about politics as much as they care about football, we would never be in the situation that we're in, So, that's my 2 cents. And I'm sticking by it. Why can't you be normal? Norman? Anyway, am I answering? Oh yeah, we were talking about remote viewing. So, a bunch of years ago, I started getting into, or rather looking into, remote viewing. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's another one of these government paranormal programs where you learn how to see things, people, events in the past and the future. And what it is that it's the nature of consciousness is not linear. It's not bound by time and space. And once you understand the nature of consciousness, then you can do these things. Again, it's under the government, so So in the research that I was doing, because I was looking for online courses to learn, I did find good courses, like good teachers and what have you.
But one of the teachers had a video, and it was like his last video, and then like that was it for his channel. And the video was, something to the effect of like, you know, I was having some very strong psychic experiences, and I was being followed by men in black, and it was there was some kind of weird psychic warfare being waged on me, and all this shit happened to me, and I was essentially told to like walk away from this, and so this will be the end. It's that kind of a thing. And that made me realize, like, fuck, like you're still, you if you get into doing remote viewing, you can't get out of it. You get my point? Like, you are now always on the radar of the CIA, and I don't, that's not, I already, no, I don't think I need to like say anymore. It's not to say that I wouldn't want to know. I still would love to know how to do that, but my use of the skill would certainly, be for our cause. So you could see how our enemies would not want that, and how they would, what they might go through to stop such a thing from happening. And now I don't want to go the Bill Cooper route. That's a pretty harsh thing to say, and I'm sorry to say that. I know that's, and it's not like, I'm special or there's something unique or special about me, but anybody who would want to do this is in the same shoes, excuse me. Whereas the sorry, pardon me. The what do you call it? The astral projection would be more of a spiritual practice, and there's, I don't know, I've had a lot of experience with death in my life, and I feel that being able to do astral projection would really be a great way to experience beyond death, and that in many ways would, be very powerful for me, very enlightening for me, but also help me, with people who need kind of like grief counseling, like help going through whatever. I was just talking about a friend who was told she's got long COVID, and she's gonna have a really, really, really terrible time in the next, I don't know how long you live with that, What about her child? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's tough, man. So that has a certain spiritual side to it in that regard. Wow, this page is coming out pretty nice. You can kind of see this pod is shot out from this ship. The pod has like the DNA of these creatures who live on Saturn. And then this, there's going to be text in here describing the story. So this creature evolves on Saturn, but then it has this way of traveling to Jupiter, where these gods live. And, there's a war, as you can kind of see. Pretty cool shit. Anyway, it's fucking 1 o'clock. Oh, God. I'm insane. I gotta go. I love you guys. And let's just check the chat real fast here. Totally insane. Let me get into this. I gotta read your comments before I go. Meditate, bad dreams, anxiety. My mom told me if I cross my hands over my chest, I'll have bad dreams. I've heard that before too. Naturally, I cross my hands at night to test out.
Do any of the Buddhist schools have a method of remote viewing? It's an interesting question. So it's very interesting you should say that, because in Buddhism, later, man. Adios. Have a good night, Western Kind. Thanks for coming. So in Buddhism, they don't want to advertise the psychic abilities that you get from practicing it, because that's, not what it's about. But like, as you make it a habit, a daily habit, and it becomes, you really start getting deep into meditation, then you'll start noticing your natural. Everybody has psychic abilities. They just don't know kind of how to tap into them. Anyway, these natural abilities start happening. Like, I have some now. Very interesting, strange things, but not bad things, but definitely supernatural things. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is that the Buddhists say that's a distraction, ignore it, and keep moving forward towards nirvana. So like they're really, really, like, they really downplay the psychic side effects that come from Buddhist meditation. So, on the other hand, there are many, many wonderful, legendary stories of great masters who can astral project at any moment that they feel like. There are many, many stories of masters who choose the time of their death, and they'll get their students together and say, I'm done here. I'm moving on. I'm leaving this body, and I'm bringing you guys together. We're gonna have our last session here, and then I'm gonna die. And then they prepare for it. Da da da. The monk closes his eyes and gone. He's gone. So like, there's so much they can go. There's so much that they can do, but again, it's not. We're not. It's not trying to advertise like spiritual superpowers, and I don't claim to have that either. Just making that clear. I'm nowhere near any of those guys. I'm still just a guy. So whatever. There's your answer, my man. Anyway, thank you guys so much for spending time with me and enjoying my bugs and my science fiction stuff. Another great show. Have a great night. God bless you all, and sweet dreams. No bad dreams tonight, okay? Adios.